Well, today's Sunday, it's the 22nd of January 2023, and we're down in Palma, and we've just come down really to have a look to see what's happening along the Paseo Maritimo. They started work a few weeks ago, and we're just going to have a look to see what sort of progress is being made. You can see the water's quite low today. Not that we have a tide here at all, but some days there's water and you can't walk across here, and other days you can. So today it's fairly dry. So we're just going to have a walk along the front here, along the promenade. First thing we notice is there's some barriers up telling us where we can walk and where we can't walk. And one of the places we can't walk is along the pavement that run by the side of the road, because it's gone. There isn't a pavement there anymore. So we just have to walk down here and we'll come down to the promenade. I'll actually be walking more or less directly into the sun, so have some interesting effect on the video. That's an interesting sight. We've got a car who's thinks they can come along here. Not sure where he thinks he's going to go. Anyway, we're going to make our way along. No, I think he just needs to maybe get to the boats. I think he probably has a parking area there. Yeah. So yeah, we came along here before Christmas, and they were starting to do some work, particularly at the other end near Club de Mar. But work was supposed to start immediately after the Christmas break. And it did, with a vengeance. And one of the consequences of that is we can't park in our usual sorts of spots, which is along the Paseo Maritimo, because just almost all of the parking has gone, and very few places left. And what they've done is to open up some new places. We just noticed on the road that runs parallel, an old car park that's been abandoned for many years has now been reopened, much to the disgust of the local residents, who fear that it's going to attract the wrong sort of people. And there's supposed to be some more parking, but haven't really found that yet. So if you just get closer to the road, we might actually see what's going on here. So they've dug up the pavement that was. They've actually tarmacked it. And they've put a barrier in here. It's all been cemented in. So the plan is to reduce the road width to 2 carriageways in each direction. It used to be 3 in each direction, plus some parking. And that's all been reduced anyway over the last couple of years with COVID. Across the far side, one of the lanes was used by bars and restaurants, so they could put tables outside, because during the COVID period they were not allowed to use the inside area. And on this side they introduced a new cycle lane, which well, they put to my right, and now that one's gone, and they put it back to the left where it used to be. So lots of changes, and it's not clear how it's all going to pan out. But one thing it involves is removal of lots of these palm trees are going to go or be removed or transplanted in other places, and this area is going to be more of a parky sort of area, pretty much all the way to Club de Mar, so it will be much better. And it's had a consequential effect on property prices here, because it will be quite a pleasant area to live. But it's going to take around about 2 years So there's going to be 2 years of disruption, and how that's going to affect the businesses that go along the front here isn't very clear, because some of them are going to lose a lot of passing trade. People who would normally come and walk down here are going to find it a lot more difficult to do that now. And another consequence that may affect the area in the summer is that the boat owners and yacht owners are not going to be very happy about all this construction work going on in front here, and they may decide to choose different areas. Again, if I just walk out this way and have another look at the road, you can see where the new cycle path used to be. That's gone, and it's been put back to where the cycle path was originally. So lots of big changes around here, and the aim is to have a big wide park area on this side, and where the bars and hotels are on the far side there, to make that a much wider pedestrian area. We'll see how all of that pans out. But all of this used to have parking for cars, and that's all gone, and that makes life difficult for all the people who live here, who used to park their cars overnight, and people who wanted to visit the boats or walk along the promenade. So we've parked in a back street on the top, which isn't always easy to do. It wasn't particularly easy to do today. It's very cold. I'm not sure what the exact temperature is, but last night it was down to 2 or 3 degrees, and we went out to a concert and it was freezing. And in Palma, and also in Palencia, I guess in other parts of the island, they had snow down at sea level. We didn't actually see it, but it's been reported in the newspapers today that there was snow down here. So, yeah, we do get snow. It does get cold. I was asked, when does it start to warm up? Well, January, February are the coldest months, so it's what we expect. It's going to be a while before it starts to warm up, but once February's out of the way, and we'll know that when we see the almond blossom, and the island turns white, and it looks as though it has snowed. But once the February's out of the way, going from March then in towards Easter, then temperatures start to rise again, and April, Easter time, it can be quite nice. Nothing guaranteed, of course. And as we go into May, then that's when the summer temperatures start to appear. Sometimes sooner, sometimes later. We're talking about the weather, and the weather is an amazing variable. It's a bit different walking in this direction. We've got the boats that go out, the party boats. This is the catamarans, magic catamarans, big wide boats here. People go out to party. I'm told they weren't appearing around Palma Nova last year, so maybe they've got different corners of the island to go to. beautiful and calm here, yet elsewhere on the island, the south of the island where we are now, there's not a great deal of wind. We get occasional gusts, but not very much. But the north, that's the Puerto Poyensa area, Alcudia, they're on an orange warning for wind, so they're not getting very nice weather today. I just actually walked around a car park which was closed for a while. It's now open, so cars can use it. It was a pay car park, so I'm not sure whether you still have to pay. Maybe have a look when we go back. I'm just seeing on the sign there that there's a public parking 24 hours. The sign is pointing down this way. It's pointing to the one which we just walked around, which is called the boathouse.
We know.
Yeah. Just looking along, you can see a lot of work that's been doing here, and a lot of fencing has gone up. And I imagine at night that's quite difficult to see the fencing across in the central reservation. And people actually do cross the road there at times. Well, they can't now. There's a big fence all along the central reservation. And all along here there would be parking for cars. Well, we've driven down from home today, and now we've got our new bus passes. Perhaps we should have caught the bus, but it's not quite that simple. If you catch a bus from our house, it takes you into the centre of Palma, and then you'd have to get a bus that brings you this way. So not as easy as it sounds, catching a bus to different places. The idea's good, but if the routes don't actually do what you want them to do, then you're going to choose the easier methods, which for us is jump in the car. But we're not going to give up on the bus. It's something we're going to experiment with and see if we can make it work for us. Really nice when you get to the sunshine. You go into the shade and you can feel the temperature suddenly drop. It's a Sunday afternoon, so normally expect a few people out on the promenade. It seems fairly quiet today. They'll still be having their lunch. We're saving ourselves a little. We're doing a stew Saturday on Sunday, so we're on stew Sunday today. Our friends Yvonne and Adolfo are going to come around this evening. It really is quite fascinating how the work is progressing along here.
Maybe not so many people here because they can't park.
There's a little bit of parking in the middle there, although I can see a lot of no parking signs there and there's not many cars, so maybe that's not even allowed normally. It is the weekend and it's a Sunday, so nobody's going to bother.
Ice cream place is doing well, even so.
Sorry?
The ice cream place is doing well, even so it's cold.
Oh my goodness, I can't imagine anybody wanting an ice cream in these temperatures, but there you go. Just looking at all of these beautiful yachts moored here in Palma and not going anywhere. And they'll probably spend months and months here, not going anywhere. Strange shaped looking one. Some of the yachts, they've lost the beautiful lines that they used to have. And now they've got these almost vertical fronts. I don't know, it just seems to stick out of the water a lot and doesn't look pretty. Somebody spent a fortune buying it. Some idiot speeding round. So in the middle there we've got used to be called the Social Club Majorca, and that is destined to be demolished because all of that's going to become part of this park area. Been quite a few protests, see if they can actually save it. I don't know if anything's been made of that. The rubbish bins on the far side have been sealed up, so people can't use them. It's a huge catamaran, sort of goldy coloured. Well, even though they are doing all of that work, it doesn't seem to have affected the promenade too much. The promenade is pretty much open for people to use in the same way as they have been before. In front of us, we're actually coming towards Club de Mar, and Club de Mar was having a really big makeover last time we were here, and I can still see cranes indicating that the work is still continuing there. We're still getting the occasional cruise ship, and we drove past yesterday and saw the Aida in. But it certainly hasn't been the weather for cruising. The water, the sea has been really, really jumpy and bumpy. So normally when we come down, we would park somewhere around about here, but there is no parking on this side. Again, there seems to be a little bit of parking in the middle, but that may only be temporary, as there are no parking signs. Something stuck on them, which will probably be the dates that you can or can't park there. Lots and lots of boats moored here. Just have a quick look in Club de Mar. You can see here that some of the work that's been going on there, widening the quayside by the looks of things and putting in some new quays. I don't think we're going to get much further along there. It's like a building site. See all of the barriers all over the place here now. We cross and go back now?
Yep.
Cross all the way. walking back away from the sea. And now you'll be able to see this fencing that's been put up all along here. Some parking on this side.
Why did they put all this fencing up?
Well, the idea is to widen the pavement here, and I suppose they'll start working there soon. I don't want people getting too close. Anita has been spotting the processionary caterpillars.
This is not the sort of tree they're in.
No, it's a pine tree though.
Yeah.
It's not this one, maybe one further up. Seems a little bit early for them. They usually come around February. We've had some rather different weather. In fact, we've seen insects. We saw a wasp this morning. I think the cold weather now has put an end to those there.
It's phone there.
We just spotted a phone.
Madrid and Valencia, that Mark is worth listening to.
Right. So if it's cold here, it'll be even colder on the mainland. We started watching a ladies' football match this morning in England, and they were only playing a few minutes and it got abandoned.
Dangerous pitch.
Pitch was a bit too hard. I think someone fell over and banged their head. It's not so bad if it's a bit of mud, but if it's ice, not so good. To see some bars open, but no clients.
We might be in a minute.
I suppose a little bit later on they might be coming out after they've had their lunch.
Oh, me, of course I said.
Oh. Need us to go and do it? You have to drink already, dear?
No. No lo pintará nunca él, ni hará nada. Sí, nunca lo hará nada.
This is the Bahia Mediterraneo. And go up there, there's an elevator, go up in a lift, and a restaurant with amazing views over the top. We've been in the past to some functions there, really enjoyed it. Top secret. Artist. Coming soon, exciting.
So little Christmas lights up.
Still some Christmas lights up there. We did see them taking them down somewhere. We saw them remove the big golden ball that was in the front of Palma Nova, and then we've seen some more being taken down elsewhere. This area is another one I've been keeping an eye on. This is going to be transformed. Is being transformed, lots and lots of construction. This is the old Tito's, and the staircase is still there, and so lots of been ripped apart, and next door been knocked down. We'll wait to see what's going to happen there. There was talk of it becoming a nightclub again of some sort, or something like that. So it looks as though the wall along the front in Paseo Maritimo is going to change a lot over the next 18 months, 2 years. I hope they've just got it something reasonable by the time the season starts. So by April, May, they need to have it well, looking reasonably good. In a similar vein, work has actually started on Son Moix again, and we were there just the other night watching the Real Mallorca, first win of 2023. With only 1-0, but that 1-0 is 3 points, and that's really what Real Mallorca need, is 3 points. However they do it, sometimes it's pretty, sometimes it's not so pretty, and it wasn't so pretty on Friday night. But still, they got the 3 points, and that keeps us in the right part of the league table. We're on 25 points at the moment, and we're not quite halfway through the season. So that's pretty good. We're aiming for 40 points. 40, anything above 40 should see us safe, and keeping our place in La Liga for another 12 months. Just got to be careful they don't do anything silly now. A nice little garden outside Can Pelut. When I was on the bus going into Palma last week, when Anita was elsewhere, I did go past Son Director and saw the building work that's going on there. So lots of construction work going on in Mallorca. There's another area at the back of Palma which has been derelict for as long as I can remember, over 20 years for sure. And it used to be a military or Guardia Civil or base, and it's all walled off. But I read in the news this week that they're finally going to do something with it and turn it into some sort of social housing accommodation. Some of the buildings really are in such good condition because it has been well looked after, well monitored, though it's not been used. And so some of the buildings can actually be used without too much work being done on them, and then there'll be some construction work as well, but it will provide some really needed accommodation for people of Palma.
gloves and the hands so freezing.
I'm not wearing gloves, my hands are warm. Anita's wearing gloves and her hands are cold. Some parts are looking like a building site we're walking through.
Hola. Bus stop here.
Yeah. Maybe that's the bus we need to investigate if we want to come on the bus. Good to see that there are places open. Well, it's a funny in between sort of time now, so we're coming up to 5 o'clock. So lunch is just about finished and they're not ready yet for the evening meal. So tables here already out for this evening. This is the Agra Tandoori. This is an Indian for us. Yeah. We're just coming up to the auditorium. It's just referred to as the auditorium. It's the auditorium of Palma. A big theatre, holds thousands, and it's where Anita comes to quite regularly to see the orchestra. I came with her last week and enjoyed the concert. But last night we went to a different theatre, which is referred to as the Trui Theatre, and it's actually part of a school. But it's a big theatre, and it was the Palma or the Baleares Symphony Orchestra, and they did Beethoven's Second Symphony in the first half, which is a wonderful piece of music, but it's Beethoven, so you'd expect it to be a wonderful piece of music, and they're excellent musicians who performed it really well. And then in the second half, I think one of everyone's favourites, the Torville and Dean classic, if you like, it's one they made famous, was Ravel's Bolero, and that started off beautifully. Just a lone drummer in the middle of the orchestra, just tapping out the beat, was so quietly for me that I could hardly hear it. But,
Couldn't actually see him, could we?
and I couldn't see him because he was hidden behind a piano. But you could hear the beat, and then all the instruments gradually come in, and the crescendo makes it just one of the most exciting pieces of music, really, and gives a great opportunity for many of the instruments of the orchestra to show off their individual talents, and got a great reception from the packed audience. And then something absolutely completely different. I mentioned that there was a piano on the stage, a big Steinway Grand, and there was a big double bass lying on the stage attached to an amplifier and speaker, and a drum kit, just actually almost like a mini drum kit, actually smaller than one of the bands would have. And they were at the front of the orchestra, and then on came this trio yeah, and they performed Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, and the pianist was something really special to see. Really exciting piano playing, some really different ways of playing a piano, and Anita and I in the past have seen some really quite strange pianos and the way they've been played, but his interpretation of the Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue was something extremely special, and something we were both really thrilled with, and as was the rest of the audience.
It was an amazing concert.
The bass player was really good, obviously enjoying what was going on. We spoke to him afterwards. He's from Sweden, the pianist from Mahon, and the drummer got a smile all the way through the concert. It was really, really, really entertaining. And they went off, and they came back and did a couple of encores, but really, really enjoyable. Very good night out, and something really, really special for the island. Going past the Belvedere Hotel. This is the car park Anita uses when they're going to concerts. It's the Marquis de la Seigneur. Another Indian restaurant. We're actually noticing a lot more Indian restaurants as we're walking along. This one's actually a Madras Indian restaurant. It's one we've actually ordered takeaways from using the Just Eat app, and very, very efficient and very, very tasty food.
He's an Indian now.
It's the Costa Azul Hotel. We were very lucky today. There's not been so much wind, and there's been lots of sunshine. I've got my coat all zipped up, so I'm really snug and warm. And it's obviously very different coming out on a Sunday. There's a lot less traffic on the road. Almost completed our circular tour. Circular in that we went down one side of the road and we've come back on the other side, but they're two very different situations.
Go here and have a coffee.
Just getting past the Shamrock. Well, thank you for joining us on that walk along the frontier in Palma. We're on our way home now. Thanks very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. So bye for now.
Bye.